footage after. But this rapper Berner, he's been sued. His company Cookies, they said that they were doing giving kickbacks to their company. They were, you know, um, taking money out of the company, and basically, I don't know if the word defrauded was used allegedly, but they're saying they were basically taking money out of the company improperly, and a few people I think who were involved with the company sued him and Cookies, and he called it, a takedown from the inside. And recently, um, this website called Benzinga Cannabis, who has published favorable stuff about him, had to retract an entire article that they said was based on an interview with him, but that didn't actually even happen. The interview didn't even happen, and they published an article citing some. It's so weird. Somebody made up that Berner did an interview, and other people picked it up. Benzinga has retracted an article from an external contributor published November 12th about Berner and his cannabis company Cookies that purported to cover an interview with Berner. The information included was fabricated by external sources, and Benzinga confirmed no such interview even took place. They removed the story, revoked access to the contributor who authored it, and is reevaluating its guidelines. We apologize to Berner, Cookies, and Benzinga readers for the error. And Berner says he had a big thing on the side here. I guess it's a 70 productive start, but 3 questions. Why haven't you posted this to your main page? That's where this AI generated interview / fake piece was released. Will you guys pursue this writer and whoever approved this to be released to find out who paid for this slander, defamation on my name and company? And last but not least, how did such a reputable publication even get to a point it is paid, I'm guessing he meant to say, get to a point where paid to play smear campaigns were a thing. It's unfortunate how unreliable media has become in 2023, but even more disappointing how far competition will go to get you out of the way. The days of building something strong and doing good work are coming to an end. In today's world, bigger companies get scared and put money on you to try and ruin your name and your company's credibility and motion. I know exactly who did this. It's come to me from many different platforms that were smart enough to not play dirty like this. I just hope Benzinga and its writers do the right thing to expose this person. As much as this disturbed me, I'm thankful for the journalists that saw this, called it out, and ran a process to prove this was an AI generated interview, which still blows my mind. So he's saying that there was an AI generated interview with him, paid for by one of his competitors, probably one of the people suing him, and somebody wrote it on this Benzinga website and was paid to do so. That is insane. Like, if they're doing this, first of all, you've got a target on your back. You would expect this for Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports. But what this says to me, now, obviously, I don't know the truth. I don't know if Berner's doing wrong by his company, what he's doing. All I know is that he built it from the ground up. I like the guy. I believe the guy. And you must be doing something if the big players are coming back at you like this. Now, it's harder. Like in the sports world, and I'd imagine in the cannabis world, it's harder than in politics to get this stuff noticed. In two ways, it's hard to get people to care, but it's harder to get people to believe you in the sense of being the person who's getting attacked. Think about it in the 90s when you read something in like a People magazine or a newspaper or whatever. The big company gets a huge say and gets to say whatever they want about you, and you basically have no platform or the reach to say it back. I feel like that's very similar in places like sports and probably this industry as well. Because in politics, and probably even in like celebrity culture, even more so now, there's ways to get your message out, and there's people who are going to defend you if you're a big name. But if you're a sports figure and somebody attacks you with something, the mainstream media is going to run with that, and nobody's really going to dig into that from the mainstream and say, hey, this was actually wrong. They're going to hear that this big company is going to push it out to the mainstream media, and that's the perspective you're going to get. That's what they try to do to Dave Portnoy. And I can see in this situation if that's what they're trying to do. Hey, this is a guy we don't like. Let's try to push into the media that he's a bad guy, and that's the perception people will have because nobody's gonna, read into the cannabis industry about something like this. So very muddy waters. I trust that he's doing things in a legitimate way. I have no idea, of course, Your Honor. But I think that given the methods he's come up with and the fact that, you know, people really like his products and, other rappers really like him, and there hasn't there hasn't been an indication to me that he's just going around scamming everybody. Those reputations come out, those rumors come out, and frankly, people don't want to work with somebody like that. There's a reason why some people don't want to work with some comedians, the ones that stole jokes. There's a reason why people don't want to work with some news companies, and that stuff eventually comes out, I think.
Turn it up, Jordan.